Well, hi there folks, it's Matt Hayson here looking at everything impacting the property market this week. Well, of course, it is school holidays and we can certainly notice that driving around the Sydney roads, which I actually quite enjoy, but this period definitely has an impact on the auction volumes, where last week we saw 803 properties due to go under the hammer across the Sydney region for an overall clearance rate sitting at 48.9%, so pretty weak outcome there. That auction volume is, of course, 25% fewer than what we saw before the school holidays kicked off. Now, Louis Christopher, the director of SQM Research, has noted that the weaker auction conditions are certainly weighing on buyers and this caution around what's unfolding with the cash rate. And that's a very true sentiment there. But what we saw, and our take on this is, around 2 weeks ago, we saw that jump in inflation, which resulted in the media suggesting that the cash rate may need to be lifted, in fact, up to around several times, and that spooked buyers. Now, what tends to happen is you have this initial shock period. Then the buyers go back and they reassess their financial position. They don't drop out of the market altogether, but the way that they approach the market may be a little bit more conservative. The way that they make an offer, they may just pull back a little bit financially, but it still means that when they see volume, they are committing to a property. Now, we saw that play out in the auction market last week, and this showed signs of some pretty good resilience at 5 Bay Street in Birchgrove. Now, we touted this property as the cheapest home to be sold in Birchgrove possibly ever again. The guide was 1.2 million for a fairly derelict property, unlivable as is. Now, the guide was 1.2 million on that property, and we saw spirited bidding with 8 registered bidders, and that property sold for 1.606 under the hammer last Saturday, which was 25% above the set reserve. The same result was across at 191 Evan Street in Rozelle. Again, really spirited bidding. That one selling under the hammer. The same at Seabrook Avenue in Russell Lee. Very strong bidding there, and that sold above reserve as well. And of course, this one in Dunstaffanage Street in Hurlston Park, another very solid auction. In fact, by 11 a.m. last Saturday, we spoke with our auctioneer and he'd already sold 5 from 5 of our auctions. So it does reflect that when we see good value on the market, buyers are still committing and showing confidence and bidding with confidence as well. Now, what's happening around the grounds in the media this week? We can see that the IMF, whoever these faceless people are, the International Monetary Fund, have come out and suggested that interest rates may need to remain higher for longer. Thanks for the tip. We've been hearing that for about the last 4 months. Also, a number of property experts in the media have come out this week and suggested that national house values are likely to increase by less than 5% over the next financial year. But as we know, these so-called experts have a pretty good track record of getting it wrong, so we'll keep an eye on that. And also, Australia scores a hat-trick of poor economic data. Now, what's interesting about this is the RBA will be looking very closely at this particular data, and potentially we may get a reprieve on the cash rate being increased. Now, what they'll be looking at is business survey and confidence is low. Also, consumer confidence is showing signs of recession-like data, and also job ads, they are falling, and the number of job applications per job is actually increasing. So that's very interesting. And the other one, which is seemingly unfolding now and may be good if you're looking to lease a property, is Sydney vacancies are starting to climb and any rent increases are starting to dissipate somewhat as well. Now, we're seeing that play out. We've seen a major jump in the number of our rental vacancies over the course of the last 3 to 4 weeks. So that's what's unfolding in and around the property market this week. Thanks so much for watching, folks. We've got some great properties open this Saturday and we look forward to seeing you out and about, and I'll catch you all next week.